Oh man, we're getting ready. We are getting ready. I'm seeing everybody starting to pile in. As you can see here on the screen, we got Circle Developer Grants today, building on Arc and the Circle Developer Platform. We got some special guests, and we're going to bring up all full screen. How's it going, everyone? Today, I see, man, look, this is just crazy. I'm just seeing everybody coming in. Panchu, Brazil, India. Where else we got? We got Pakistan out there. We got, looks like New York. NYC's in the building, man. This is great to see. Great to see. Welcome to this, man, I think the third or fourth live stream of the week. And this is a big one. This is one that I know has been asked and talked about for a very long time. And this one's special to me, I've got to be honest, because I get to work with these folks all the time and am such a fan of these two individuals. So I'm really proud to share this conversation with you all, share my experiences with them, and I'm glad that you'll be able to learn from them as well. We've got Anthony Kalani and Jenna Tiemann, who are going to talk about our Circle Developer Grants. Welcome to the show, Anthony, Jenna. Good to see you guys finally on the live stream.
Great to see you. Thanks for letting us share the stage with you, Sam. What an honor.
It is awesome. It is awesome. And I see the community is extremely excited as well. Yes. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Anthony. Yes, India's out there. Of course. So let's go ahead and jump into it. As I started off in the very beginning, is that I know you all very well, but to some out there, if they're under a rock, they may not know these two incredible folks. So, Anthony, let's start off with you. Why don't you introduce yourself to the community?
Awesome. Great to be here. My name is Anthony Kalani. I am Director of Ecosystem Growth at Circle on the Dev Marketing team. As far as my background and my career spanned across software development, specifically in AI and crypto native apps. I've been a startup founder many times over, and also have done a little VC as well. At Circle, I work with a broad range of ecosystem partners, from startups to technology platforms to enterprises, and I really focus on scalable ways to grow our developer ecosystem. So that's what I kind of do day to day.
Awesome.
Jenna, what's up?
Yes. Hello, I'm Jenna. I am based in Brooklyn, New York. I've been at
BK, what's up?
I'm sure we've got plenty of BK in the house. I went into to folks who work in the industry all the time. I did yesterday. But yeah, I've been at Circle for almost 5 years now, leading our ecosystem enablement program. So what does that mean? It's essentially like our hackathon strategies, how we work with partners to educate and onboard developers, helping lead our grants program to essentially bring these developers to the next phase of their building life cycle with all the incentives and ways that we support them through the program itself, which we'll get into. My career actually spans across product marketing. So for a majority of my career, I was working in product marketing at major organizations like AT&T, Warner Media, then moving over to the on-chain industry and working on product marketing over at Circle for a couple of years. And then when the developer marketing team came to fruition and this ability to continue to evangelize these developer communities and onboard developers in new and innovative ways, that's where I've come and, really excited about the opportunity to connect with builders and provide a lot of these different incentives and opportunities to grow with them. So excited to be here.
Nice.
Awesome. And yeah, I wish I was in BK too, man. Yeah, Martin. Shout out to Martin, always been coming in. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. We're here to talk about this grants program. And man, it's a beautiful site. If you haven't gone there yet, it's just simple. Circle.com/grants. Tell us about I guess that this program overall, Jenna. I mean, this is I know a big thing in the works. I know a lot of folks have been excited for it. So yeah, tell us about the program overall.
Yeah, for sure. So we just relaunched the program. So the program has an entirely new look and feel. Outside of this website, we also have a new platform that houses the operations and day-to-day life cycle of the program. But essentially, like you see it in the headline, it's a program for us to really empower really strong builders who are building on Arc and the Circle developer platform. So Arc is also the new emphasis of the program as we march towards mainnet, really looking for production-ready applications and innovative use cases that really align with what Circle's looking for, which Anthony will go through in a bit. But really the ability to focus on these innovative projects that showcase how to bring our products to life, showcase how Arc is really the foundation for your infrastructure and the core role that it plays in the movement of value, liquidity, settlement. So really exciting opportunity for us to leverage this new platform, which also ties in a lot of Circle cross-functional stakeholders for review as well. But really looking to kick off this new motion that will be ongoing on a cohort basis to fund these builders and provide a lot of different opportunities like co-marketing, technical support, and things like that, which we'll also go through in a bit.
Yeah, no, that's a great overview. And shout out to Aquarius, another one of our architects out there. From seeing them on videos to seeing them on live stream, I'm going to be honest. I was actually, before this call, was looking at some of the videos from Buenos Aires last year, and I'm watching. I'm like, man, I can't believe I get to work with these two. Like, you guys sound so like. It's like I don't deserve to. They're way too smart. They're like way above my intelligence level. It's great to see you all. I could understand that. Yeah, you see them and you get to talk to them, so that's great. I'm glad you guys can meet them. Moving on from that, Anthony, let's talk about the application process.
Mm-hmm.
What is Circle really looking for? Because I know that's a question that we get often. And maybe you can help shed some light into that.
Yeah, I mean, we look at a lot of applications during this process, and while we love seeing very polished decks and nice logos and shiny things, we really are looking for teams that will most likely actually ship something meaningful on Arc. And there's a few vectors that we specifically hone on. I would say one of the first ones is platform alignment. Is Circle infrastructure genuinely core to what you're building? We want to see, that Arc and our developer platform, which, it's wallet, CCTP, gateway, some of those products, USDC, obviously, are kind of not bolted on as an afterthought, but it should be like a core part of your infrastructure.
Can I pause you on that real quick? Because
Yeah.
I think that's an important one, right? It's like, you know, and those that are listening can give you 100%. I know you've heard me say this, but it's like, why, right? Like, okay, you've got, you know, USDC in your application even, or you've got Gateway. Why is it necessary to what you're doing? So yeah, what you're hitting on is super important. And you know, I interrupted you, but yeah, if you can maybe go into what do you mean by core? Like, how do you describe that?
I would say, like, you should ask yourself this question, like, could your product exist, you know, in the same form without Arc or Circle? And if the
Mm,
answer is yes, then we really want to understand like why you're even choosing the infrastructure specifically, right? Like I think that's a
right,
core question to ask yourself. You know, we're looking for something that's not a, like I said, not an afterthought, but like something that's really core to, and you're utilizing the, you know, the core primitives and the core features of our platform, and it wouldn't exist without us, right?
right.
And so, you know, I think strong applications have a like clear and direct answer for that. You know, we use CCTP because we need cross-chain settlement and because this couldn't exist before, or this was this hard, but you know, it was a hard way to do this before, right? Or wallets let us do X, Y, and Z. But I think you know, though answering those questions and being very direct and clear about why Arc, why Circle, you know, why that specific tool helps a lot.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
showing it too, you know, outside of
Hmm.
just the words on the application, we're looking for pitch decks, we're looking for technical demos. We'll, you know, iterate back and forth if we need more of this information to help validate the why that you're explaining.
Right,
So I think that's going to be a core part of the process as well. It's a show, not just tell, and
right, right,
the
right.
whole team wants to see it. So we're really excited to kind of get deeper into that review process as well.
And there's a
Awesome,
couple of
awesome.
other vectors as well, you know, like for teams, like who's actually building this, right? We want to see like credibility, like a track record of like, you know, maybe what you've shipped before. It doesn't have to be a full-on company, but like if you've shipped other products before, you know, we love subject matter experts that are obsessed with, you know, solving a real world problem. We want to see clear kind of roles and teams, like ownership and accountability matter, like who's responsible for what, you know, who will own the kind of the relationship with Circle through the grant period. Long-term vision also matters. You know, we don't want to see teams that would take a grant and then disappear. We want to see builders that like are really bought into the ecosystem and want to grow their product into, you know, a big company. Um, you know, evidence of traction also matters. You know, it doesn't
Evidence attraction. That's a good one.
yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah,
one. That's a
evidence
good
of
one.
traction, like, you know, that you're solving a real world problem, that people want your product. Um, you know, this doesn't necessarily mean it has to be on mainnet, you know? It doesn't have to be on mainnet, but, like, we do wanna be able to point to something if you have something on testnet and you kinda have beta users and things like that. Maybe if you have some people paying in some way, you know, like, we wanna see some signals that this is a product that people want. And then like most, I think like another big thing is like ecosystem impact. Does this make Arc bigger?
Mm,
Like does this contribute to the Arc and Circle ecosystem as well? Like are these infrastructure, you know, are you creating some infrastructure that helps unblock other builders or applications that bring meaningful traction and volume to Arc? You know, like we want to see USDC expand and have those network effects. And if you're bringing a project that contributes to that, you know, that's a lot of points on the board, right? So, you know, I just wanted to make
nice.
sure we got those out as well.
No, that's important. That's important. I know we got some questions that are coming in. And we will dive into those. Shout out to Mike for helping to bring some of those in. Let me see if there's any questions pertaining to this topic in particular. Um, yeah, definitely, definitely. I will give a shout out. So Martin says, got to meet Jenna in Cannes. Such a great person, really helpful during the hackathons. Absolutely. As we look at this, so here's a good question, right? This person classic says that they have two different projects uh with the same co-founder. Can they apply twice? So it's like, you know, apply for one project, apply for another. Oh, I see the smile.
I
Good
would say,
question.
yeah, I think it's a good question. We have people that are passionate about projects and building and things. I think, products are really hard to build. Like successful products are hard to
Mhm.
build. And like I think as a founder, you need to like focus and be obsessed with a problem, right? And I think it's really hard to do two things at once.
That's a good
Um,
point.
I'm not saying don't apply with both, but I'm just saying like, it's going to dilute things in your application, I think, if you try to focus on two things at once. I would really like pick your strongest problem that you're trying to solve and really just focus in on that one.
Right.
And if you're a subject matter expert in that space and it's a big problem, like a huge problem, and like one of your projects has a bigger problem than the other one, I would just pick the one that has the bigger problem that you want to solve. So that would be my advice.
Right, right, right. Yeah, because something that I see it as well, Anthony, is going back to what you said, to really create a product that is successful, you have to really show that you understand the problem to begin with,
Yeah.
and so it is often sometimes easy to tell when somebody is simply trying to tell you they're trying to figure out what you're gonna like. So
Yeah.
they just tell you a bunch of things like, "Oh, do you like this one? Do you like that one?" Versus like, "Hey, look, I have a solution to a real problem," and they're really fighting to convince you of it. So I definitely appreciate that. Let me see anything else on this topic.
The only thing
Go
where
ahead.
it's like, take a look at the application as well. Take a look at what we're asking for. We're asking for a lot of information. So, this should be the project that you're passionate about, and this should be the project that you really see a clear vision and future with.
Yeah,
We want you to make that decision. We don't want to make that decision for you. So
that's a good one.
that's why we made the application a lot more robust this time around. Like we're challenging builders so they can essentially challenge themselves. And this is this is why we're trying to be as clear as possible on the application, in these live streams, on our landing page, so that the decision should be easy for both of us. I mean, it's not going to be easy for us. It should be easier for you.
Very good, very good, very good. Let's go on. So you talk about this new process, right? A lot of work has been done. Let's talk about the Questbook application process.
Yeah. So we are super excited because, we're just getting everything in one place when it comes to intake, when it comes to reviews, both like initial reviews, cross functional reviews, milestone development, payments, communication with grantee applicants if we need more information. So the Questbook platform will essentially be the home for everything from intake to payment. And what that really means is, one, like, folks will see where they stand in the process, because in the past, what we've learned, understandably so, is, where's my application? Have you looked at it yet? So the platform will, provide, are you in the review phase? Are you in the payment phase? Are you in more of the milestone development phase? And then, yes, speaking of milestones, that's going to be a core functionality of the platform as well. We are going to, one, provide an opportunity for builders to submit their own milestones as part of the application. So that's something that's pretty new for us. And then two, as you move towards more of the acceptance phase, we want to mold those milestones with you, and we want to essentially, be more collaborative in understanding what are your core signals of growth and what are opportunities that we see on our side, either from an integration perspective, partnership perspective, that we can also weave into those milestones. That's where it's really great to also have our team, who works very closely with our product team as well, to suggest certain Circle products that maybe weren't on your roadmap, but we think could be, really beneficial to your platform. So overall, it's really a clean process where it goes from intake to initial review to technical review and any follow-up questions that our team may have, and then you move on to cross-functional review. So I get also a ton of questions around, hey, like, can we talk to your ventures team? Well, the great
Yeah.
news about this is that our ventures team is a core part of this process, and they are going to be a core part of our cross-functional review, a core part of our payment process. So there's also that additional added visibility within the process that we're making sure that builders get that type of exposure that they're asking for, especially when you get to this later phase in the review process. And then lastly, on the payment side, like I said, because we are structuring it on a milestone-based format, we'll have the opportunity to essentially have your teams validate milestones within QuestBook, have our team then go in and sign off on, yes, they did do the thing that they said that they were going to do, so that makes them, eligible for this milestone payment. We release the payment, and we continue with like the ongoing amplification and support process. The last thing I'll say on just the overall process is that you can come back and reapply. So if we give you a
That's
grant,
good to know.
yeah. So it doesn't have, we have plenty of repeat grantees. That's really great about the program. That's also a big reason why we needed to scale the program on this platform to make it, really easy for folks to come back, reapply, and us see, how their application has progressed and what they're essentially looking to achieve in this new grant life cycle. So folks can reapply, and it gives our team an opportunity to also just like track the projection, the progress. That's really the core. That's the core of the process.
Very good. Very good. Very good. What about, team versus solo developer? Can I be a solo developer and still apply?
Yeah. I mean, of course, like, and kind of like what Anthony was saying before, show us what you've shipped in the past, tell us about your history. Like, we take a lot of that into consideration too, around what is your technical merit, what is your expertise in the specific space of the problem that you've identified. So
Right.
We are not going to fault folks on team size. It's quality. That's it.
Yeah, especially nowadays with AI, right?
Yeah, AI.
Like,
Oh, you took it right out of my mouth. Yeah, it's a lot. It's really cheap to create products now with AI, right? And
Right,
so
right,
you're going to
right.
see more and more. We understand we're going to see more and more projects with a solo founder. We get that, and I think that's impressive. So please don't hesitate to apply if you're a solo founder.
So let's talk about Circle support, right? I saw a couple questions that came on around, is there mentorships, that's available to them, support. Let's dive into that, and maybe I'll open up to both you, Jenna and Anthony, to kind of answer this question. What can people expect with Circle support?
I can kick it off. On the marketing side, we want to spotlight these grantees. We also understand that, they're in a phase where they may be looking for more product market fit. They're looking to grow their user base. So it's really important that we provide these amplification mechanisms through live streams, through having them participate on panels in our events. We had Tomas from Boofy actually recently join our Arc Studio panel in Buenos Aires. Yeah, that was great. So just also getting creative with the ways that we showcase what these builders are building, showcasing that the traction and impact that they've had. This is a great opportunity for us to also use the milestones as a way for us to get that signal and for us to piggyback on celebrating those milestones with grantees. So that's something that I'm personally really excited for, to get those updates from grantees and be able to showcase those externally and celebrate those with them, and outside of just marketing, like providing also ecosystem access. We, between our different programs internally, different Circle stakeholders internally, these grantees will get a lot of exposure to the cross-functional work and leadership that Circle has. So being able to make meaningful introductions to our BD team, to our product team, that's something that we'll continue to do as well. So a lot on like the marketing and just overall support standpoint. And then maybe Anthony talking about just like mentorship and stuff.
Yeah, I think for technical guidance and mentorship, as you kind of progress through your milestones, you're going to run into probably specific like technical questions or issues that you need help with. like integration questions around like some of our specific products like CCTP and gateway or wallets. There's a lot of nuances when you're building on chain. So, instead of we won't just be like, oh, read the docs. We actually have technical people on the dev marketing team that can like deep dive with you in answering these questions or providing specific guidance on like architecture and things like that. So we love actually doing that stuff, like getting on a call with you and just like going over those kind of nuances and solving those problems. Also, if it's something that, goes a bit further, sometimes we have to, bring in the product team or engineering team. If there's a bug or something, we want to make sure we immediately fix it and help you continue your development. But also from that, there's, other collateral that could come out of that. So if we deep dive with you and maybe we talk about something really unique as far as an integration point, we could also tag team on like a blog or article or something that kind of like exposes that to the rest of the ecosystem as well. So like, Sam is bringing up right now one blog that we did with a company called Trails. They actually are part of Polygon now. But yeah, this is an example of like just a blog that I did with a company to really kind of deep dive into their CCTP integration. But these are really great opportunities for us to kind of amplify what you're doing and, even get you exposure to other customers and bigger enterprises and things that may normally not have seen who you are because you're a smaller company. So, yeah.
And one thing that I will say, and it shares his community that's listening, is that they really mean what they're saying. Like we've got text message groups, we've got Slack message groups, we got in-persons, and every time I talk to these two, they're talking about the projects. They're advocating internally, with product team members for improvements, and really being a voice for the project. So, honestly, I couldn't imagine two better people to be really representing all of you all when it comes to this developer grants program. So that's an honest shout out to everybody here. A question that's come up too, guys, is have you already started to review applications, or what is that? What should people expect as far as timeline?
Yes, we're in our very early stages of reviewing, and timeline. I don't want to give an exact timeline of acceptance, but I want to say the review process should go over like the next month or so of us trying to lock in as much as we can around just the internal, getting kind of a preliminary list of finalists. But just, the caveat is this is a new platform. It's a new process for us. So ideally, we spun up the new process because we wanted to make it more efficient and scalable. And that is the goal. And I'm confident in that. But, just flagging folks just to understand that between it being a new process and, as you can all imagine, we're getting a lot of really great applications that we want to also spend time with. We want to make sure that we're providing the right time and attention, because you provided a lot of time and attention to filling out the application, where we asked a lot more information on this time around. So,
pretty detailed.
Yeah. So
I'm an early adopter, so I love like trying out the product. I actually sign in and like try them out and things. So I love seeing really cool products and trying them out. So,
and I will say these folks understand tech. So, this don't they're gonna really evaluate what you put in there. I will tell you that.
Yep.
Let me go to Mike. I know Mike has some questions from folks that have been out there in the community, sending them in. Shout out to Poncho, Xylonet, Payex, that group, man. Great to see you out here watching. So for a project like ours, I'm speaking from Poncho, with multiple modules like Dex, Bridge, Vaults, Payex, should we structure the grant around a single milestone like mainnet launch, or does Circle prefer phase milestones tied to individual product releases? Great question.
My recommendation would be, don't give us 100 milestones. Like, try to consolidate.
How do you really feel, Jenna?
Because we're going to come back and we're going to collaborate on it with you. So it's, you don't have to create a milestone for every single little product integration. My recommendation would be like do it in strategic like buckets of what is the theme for each of these milestones and what are you trying to accomplish and how can you prove to us that you've accomplished these things. We are looking to see core integrations as part of that milestone, but we want to also see the results of those integrations. So I would say just strategically group it if you can. And it also makes it easier for us to kind of like go back and collaborate and think through like, are these the buckets that make sense for both of us?
Yeah, it's really as an early stage product, it's hard to like envision, or it's hard to be very specific about like future milestones. Like plans always
Yeah.
change, right? You're solving a problem, but like your plans could change. However, we want you to be thoughtful, like still about like the milestones. We want you to think further out, but really focus on kind of like what are your more immediate milestones for this grant? Like, what are we going to deliver more immediately? And then we'll work through kind of like, okay, what are the future milestones? So that'd be my
Nice.
advice.
Another good question that I see here, Martin says, so, and you mentioned this earlier as far as traction, right? Um, but is the grant focused only on production ready products, or is it open to products in creation that might need Circle support to get to the next phase? So it's a good question. It's a good question.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I think like I said, I think we like the problem that you're solving, and is there any evidence of traction, right? Like, and that doesn't mean you have to be on mainnet. It doesn't mean that you have to be necessarily fully production. You could be beta right now. However, if you have some evidence of people wanting this product, I think that's
Hmm.
super important to identify, right? Um, if you're at the stage where it's just an idea and you have no idea if this is a like real problem that people like care
Go to a
about,
hackathon,
I
maybe.
would say work a little bit longer,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to, I mean, you could iterate fast as well. Like we said, AI is there, and like you can iterate on product really fast. Like that's not the hard part. Like the hard part is really like, getting early, identifying, is this a problem worth solving? And if you have evidence of that, that's an important thing to bring out. If any type of insight that can explain it to us and say like, this specific customer has this huge problem, and we're trying to solve it, but like whether our product now exists in a form or that it will solve it today, or maybe it'll shift later, like that's okay. Like the product can change, but like if the problem is a real problem, then I think that's super important. So hopefully that helps a bit more.
No, that's I think that's great. I had Lionhead up here. Love it. As a previous grant recipient, I see a lot of growth from the team. Yeah, it is great. It's the program has definitely gone to the next level. And just to kind of like, I guess, double click on what you just said, Anthony, is definitely something for everyone to really understand as you're watching. Is it's important to know your market, know your audience. That is super important. Because I have seen support given to things in development that, as you mentioned, like really like there was a gap that was identified in an industry, and this person was able to like clearly identify it and clearly articulate and demonstrate how they can make it happen. And
Mhm.
so it's beyond just saying, "Oh, I'm making a payments app," and
Yeah,
it's you're not specified to anything. It's kind of just open wide, compared to like really honing in.
mm,
Um, and it's I think it's something that everyone should really focus in on, right? It's like how do you pinpoint problems and not just be broad strokes. So
yeah,
really good point.
yeah. I mean, we see projects and things where it might be a simple idea, and it looks cool. There's a lot of cool ideas, but like what's more important is what is this solving, like in terms of a problem, right? Like it's not the coolness of the idea. It's like, is this really helping? Is this a market, and is it really going to be helping people, and is it utilizing our infrastructure in a way that will help a lot of people, right? So I think that's super important. And then obviously the vision should be to put this in production, right? Like
Right, right,
it
right.
just be like a little project or something. Like the vision should be like, okay, we want to grow this into something that helps millions of people or billions of people, right? So
All right, let me go through some of the questions that came in. Amore X, what's going on? This one, what kind of projects give you an instant green flag? I wish we can say that. Everybody wants a silver bullet, right? What can I say exactly to get approved?
it has,
I don't know.
it has to check off, several boxes, and we kind of went over those during this
Yeah.
session. You know, yeah, instant. I don't know, Jenna. Have you seen like an instant?
'Cause we can't pick like a project or a use case. It's really a combination of all the things of like the point that Anthony was saying before. It's like, how would your product exist without Circle's infrastructure, and really showcasing what that pitch really looks like. The founder technical merit, we want to see what you're capable of, what you've done in the past.
Mhm.
Like the role that Arc specifically plays within your settlement architecture and things like that. So it's really just like the combination of, and how prepared you are for this and moving to the next level, and
Right, right.
the confidence in your milestones and the general understanding of where you want to go. Like Anthony says, like things pivot. The future is unclear for all of us, but where do you want to go in this near term, and how confident are you in the way that you're going to get there and the role that Circle plays and our team can play in supporting you to get there? Those are all things that we collectively look for. That's why just like the application process as a whole is going to be so important for us, because we're going to see a lot of different strengths in different areas that we're just going to continue to need to take into consideration.
Yeah, I think to get as close as possible to to an instant yes. Like I'm not saying you will, but like just be very clear and concise in your application. That's the best advice I can give you. If you're clear and concise and direct and answer the questions directly, that's as like close as you can get. Because if we're reading through it and you're hitting all the points and you're like, you're demonstrating that this is a good product and it's solving a big problem and your team is on point, and I click into the app and I could sign in easily and like see what you're building. Like, I mean, that's as close as you can get to like, oh, okay, this team is like they know what they're doing.
Oh, I will give one suggestion.
Okay.
When you send a technical demo, a video demo, make sure there's sound, and make sure that sound is not just music playing in the background. It would really help us if you talked through exactly what you are showing us, because we watch these demos. So I want to make sure I'm understanding exactly what I'm seeing, especially if these demos are under 5 minutes. A lot of them are 2 minutes long, and we're watching a lot of them. So yeah. Sound, talk us through it. No music, unless maybe it's Harry Styles.
And don't even like, and you don't have to like do a $1 million production on it. Like it could be a screen share with your voice in the background. Like we just be straight to the point. Like it doesn't have to be fully produced. Just walk us through it, just naturally.
Very good. And I'll add one more to the mix as well, is ability to execute. So a lot of times I'll see projects that have come in the past that are looking to solve these like really like big goals, right? Or to get into industries, and like I don't know, it could be something from like let's say in finance or government, but then they have no real way of actually like getting to that audience, right? There's not a real like path for them to actually execute. And so it's like, yeah, showing like a clear path to execute and a way to actually like get your product to that particular client base, to me, is also something that's very, very important.
Yeah, like if you have an unfair advantage to
Yeah.
where like you have connections or like you've worked in like the government thing. If you worked in the government, you have like specific contacts and things like that. Put that in there for your team, right? That's something that we
Yeah.
want to hear about, right? And we want to like we understand that you have an unfair advantage of getting that product to the right people. Yeah, it's that make sure you don't forget that detail, I would say.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Very important. Let's see. I know we got a couple more questions that are in here. Shout out to everyone who's putting these in. These are some great, great questions. Let's see. So this one, I mean, I guess is just a general question. What about grant committee looking for builders solving the trust and government governance layer to actually make these agents enterprise ready? So, the full question is basically regarding agentic commerce. Everyone's looking on the payment side, but are you looking at other use cases? I think the answer is obviously yes, right? Anything that you're looking to solve.
Yeah. In terms of what you're talking about with the grant committee too, we've got folks on our product team, on our BD team on this committee, and what is going to happen is we're going to get applicants that our product team is going to flag to other product team members because maybe there's something where a conversation should happen, where there's maybe some collaboration or feedback or internal projects that are happening on our side that align with what this builder is building. So I think that's going to be one benefit of just like having this committee in general. It's going to have more exposure to our internal teams. And there might be more alignment with what our product team is building and what these applicants are submitting to collaborate on some synergies there, and for our product team to even like provide some insight or mentorship as well throughout the process.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. Let's see any other questions that are coming in. Seeing tons and tons of comments. This is a good one. It's kind of more overall. Like, what is some of the most common pitfall or unrealistic expectations you see teams make when structuring their 90-day execution milestones for the grant? Any common pitfalls you've seen from your experience over the years? Open to both of y'all to answer.
Well, to be clear, as long as Anthony and I have been working on the grant program, we haven't had formal submissions of 90-day milestones. So this is like the first time too where that process is being more collaborated and formal within the application itself. But yeah, like Anthony was saying earlier, stick to what's achievable and near term, because that gives us confidence, that gives you confidence that you're able to achieve, because we want to also pay you on the milestones that you're setting out for yourself. We don't want you to set milestones. We want you to obviously set very aspirational milestones for yourself, but we also want you to set yourself up for success. So that's just like something to consider too. Just think about what's realistic, think about what's valuable to your platform and for the scalability of the ecosystem growth of Circle and Arc, but think about what is achievable and realistic.
Yep.
Right. This is a good question for you, Anthony, that came in. If you could, this is for Anthony. If Anthony can expand more on what case Arc is more fit than just general stables for the builders use. And I'm going to take the question, and I think more so what the question is like, looking at the blockchain, what are maybe some of the use cases that Arc is optimized for, in your opinion, based on the infrastructure design?
Yeah, I mean, so Arc is really made for was made as institutional grade infrastructure, right? And so, as traditionally Circle has worked with, the biggest institutions in the world. USDC, we've learned a lot from those institutions about obviously regulate, compliance and things. So Arc is really built to solve the problems of institutions, basically bringing assets on chain. So that's not to say that it's only for institutions. It's obviously for all builders, but builders that have small projects will grow into larger companies. So those requirements for institutions will are also requirements that will be for companies and startups that like become big and have to follow regulation and things. But our core primitives are really the strong suit as well, beyond just compliance and things like obviously like instance sub-second settlement, predictable costs for USDC. I mean, that's a huge thing. If you with other chains, obviously you need ETH for gas and things, and that becomes a a struggle when you for your accounting department, right? And some companies don't want to hold ETH on their balance sheets and things like that. So I think like these core primitives are real. Like it's not just stable coins. Like USDC will be the first stable coin on Arc. However, we'll be expanding to other stable coins or local stables as well. Privacy is also a big thing, right? So
Yeah.
if you're an institution or just in a company and you're doing, peer-to-peer payments and not everybody wants their transaction to be seen publicly on the chain. So you have opt-in privacy to where you can, compliantly hide those transactions or hide someone's, crypto wallet, holdings and things like that. So I think these are important like pieces and features that like, for projects that plan to become institutional grade as they grow, right? But as far as use cases, I would say we list all of our like really prime use cases on the website. Agentic
Mhm.
commerce, that's huge. AI is becoming economic actors on the internet. The ecosystem has picked USDC as kind of like the stable coin for those transactions. Arc is really prime for those types of transactions, the instant settlement, the USDC as gas, prediction markets, stablecoin FX, borrow lend, treasury management, P2P payments. These are all like, use cases that we really, really focus on. And there could be other use cases as well, but these are the ones that we've seen are kind of the real ones that are primed for, our infrastructure, Arc, and also, our Circle tools, our developer tools. So hopefully that answers your question.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Um, a couple of questions that came in that are interesting. So Michelle brought in earlier for the grant evaluation. How does a team balance between funding consumer facing killer apps versus deep B2B developer infrastructure? Good question.
We don't have like a X amount of money is dedicated to consumer apps, X amount of money is dedicated to like on-chain primitives. I will say that could be something we may explore in the future of just doing themed cohorts to just make it a little bit more clear around, hey, like we're supporting X amount of these types of applications. For right now, it's really just getting these awesome primitives and applications live on Arc. We're really just prioritizing the quality of the application. But not to say that between grants and maybe some other incentive programs that we might launch in the future, to be a little bit more direct with just some opportunities around more particular use cases.
Nice. Another question. Meridian Finance, what's going on? So with X42, ACP, and MPP all live now, and the multi-protocol reality settling in, how do you think about funding teams that build across protocols versus teams that double down on one stack? This is a great question. I know you all have a good answer for this one. So
It's super early, like I think both, right? Like teach us something, right? Yeah, that's one part of this thing as well. Like we're we know a lot about like Arc and blockchain and crypto native apps and things like that. We are subject matter experts on the development side, but like you guys are all looking. You guys have a broader view of like what's going on and like what problems you're trying to solve. Like really like teach us something as well, right? And I think with X402 MPP is still early. We're seeing builders build on either protocol like separately, or they're blending all of them together and creating products that make it easy for developers to adopt all those protocols. But I think it's too early to say what's going to be a winner. So like bring us insights, like teach us something on your application. And we think it's compelling and like, we want to move it further, then like we'll fund you and we could keep it going. Right. So I would
So
say
I guess a follow up question would be because I've heard this too, right? It's like if somebody is showcasing, I'm using 5 different stacks. Let's say I'm using Circle Gateway, Circle Wallets, everything's only on Arc, compared to maybe somebody that's still achieving their goal and successful or have opportunity, but maybe they're just using Circle Wallets and Arc. but they're utilizing other products or blockchains for other aspects. Is there preferences given in that sense? That does it weigh more one or the other?
It's really about just the role that
Yeah.
our products play, and how they connect to the other infrastructure that you have in place. How does Arc, as an example, like unique feature and functionality, or leveraging Arc as a settlement layer, like how is that kind of foundational to the application and the way that it connects to the other tooling that you've already built with? Is interops in the picture or not? Does that even matter? We're not going to force you to create a multi-chain application if that doesn't make sense for what you're building. So that makes sense in the way that you plug in the products. Like, the role just should be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of our products are also, sometimes they are also in these other third-party products, right? Like, we have wallet infrastructure that utilizes CCTP and gateway under the hood, right? So, there's also that. But yeah, like, really, it's just the right tool for the right, solution, right? We don't want to force you to use something that, that doesn't help solve the problem or is bad choice in terms of infrastructure, right? We want to be mindful that, like, yeah, there's a lot of different solutions out there. We would love for you to use our platform, but if there's some other solution that solves a problem for you in another way, then we're fine. You can put that in your application too. Like, just let us know.
I was going to say, one thing to add to that too is, like, folks will leverage our infrastructure through other builders. A bunch of recent grantees were leveraging Gateway through Block Radar, and that's great. Put that on your application so that it makes sense why you're not doing a standalone gateway integration, because that also, one, helps us understand how our grantees and current partners are helping enable other developers, and two, it helps us understand the ecosystem a little bit more. This is feedback that also we can give to our BD team, who's helping enable some, like, our products through some of these strategic partnerships as well, and we can showcase builders who are accessing these products through those partnerships. So this is all just, like, really good intel for us, because then we count that as points within the application too, even if you're not integrating directly through our stack.
Yeah.
Very, very good point. Very good point. Very good point. Here's a question that I saw come up from Martin again. They're early stage building a product using Circle Arc tools, and they believe it's going to be real powerful. The question is, where can they go to get advice from Circle Arc team members on paths to take in building? Well, before you guys answer, I can tell you, go to Discord. Go to Arc House.
You're saying right here, Arc House. Yep.
Go there. We're all accessible. You can send messages to us. There's forums. And we plan on opening more groups as well. So as this program expands, we plan on opening a developer-focused channels, grant circle focus channels, so people can start to post things, and it makes it easier for our team to keep track of that. So beyond that, anything you want to add, or did I just solve that question there?
This is like teamwork makes the dream work. Like, where we need to have a strong community engine to make sure we're putting content, education, ways for one-on-one support. We don't want everything to live within the grants platform. Like, this is where we work through milestones, review applications. But, like, when it comes to community building, 100%, like, this is a pipeline into all of our existing channels and programs that we're looking to build out more spaces and opportunities for grantees. But there's already, everything is basically in place already that Sam and team have done.
Yes.
So shout out to them.
Big shout out to Sam. Like, he's curated this amazing community of, like, thousands of people, and, like, everybody's helping each other out. Everybody's sharing their projects. Like, it's amazing to see how like fast he's built. You've built this community across different, like, Arc House, and also on X, and it's really amazing. Like, I can't even
appreciate it, man. It's a lot of work, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
Tim B, Mike Ferry, Bobby Lee. I mean, everyone is just like round the clock here, and a huge shout out to this community as well. I mean, we got some really genuine folks out there. Another question that came in is, And so this one's another one was kind of touched on earlier, but in general, I'll summarize it. Let's say someone comes in for a Circle developer grant and they take off, right? Like it's the hottest thing since sliced bread. Everything that they've said that they'll do, they've not only done it, but they've exceeded their expectation. Is it possible that, hey, they gain traction, that they can transition or maybe stack on to their grant? So maybe like, hey, we're killing it right now. We need more help than we thought. I think I know the answer, but I brought this up so you can answer it.
I don't know, Sam. I kind of want to hear your answer.
Yeah. Yeah, let's start up there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like if you're doing a great job.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And that's the whole benefit of having our ventures team, literally helping like with the payment process, with the review process. So, that's a question for like, that's one thing for us to flag to them, but they're already going to be in the loop anyway. So, we're rooting for you. Yeah, do it.
I love that question. It shows ambition. So like we want to see that.
I like that.
Yeah, you're looking forward to getting, venture funding. That we want to know like that's the next step for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but man, you guys now have like your own fan club, by the way. So between Jenna and Anthony, it's like I was just like, man, this is great. I told y'all they were great. I wasn't lying.
Wait till I'm jealous because the whole community team has like all these GIFs and like caricatures of them.
See, now,
like,
now you're here.
Now
you're here.
Some love.
Your own fandom, man. It's like you got the Jenna fandom and the Anthony fandom. So this is great. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so I guess we've gone through a lot of questions today. It's been great. What's next? Like what are, I guess, some of the next things people should expect or that you want to point out before we wrap up today?
I just say we will be heads down looking at your application. Hopefully this session has helped you a lot in answering those questions, very concise, and just helping us out to like, make sure that we can see the highlights of what you're doing and understand it. And we want to be able to give everybody grants. So like, hopefully you all get grants at like 100% like acceptance rate. That's what I would love to see, But,
march over to the ventures team and be like, dig down.
And please, like you see us at events, we travel the world and things at the different events and conferences. If you see us, just come and say hi. And, we're friendly. We love to see you guys and talk about tech, and like we're passionate about this stuff. So like, don't hesitate.
Yes. And I see Ezgi just joined as well. Ezgi just joined the stream. She just joined the community as well. Going to be representing Turkey. So huge shout out to Ezgi joining as well. Good to see you out there.
So exciting. And I was going to say too, like if you had like an aha moment in this live stream, you can go back in QuestBook and resubmit your application. Like you don't have to do the entire application from scratch, but you can go back in if there are fields where you feel like you didn't provide enough detail. That was also a huge like benefit of the platform too, that you can go back and iterate. Like there's a time when resubmissions are that's more like later in the phase where if we're in milestone development, like we don't want resubmissions 100 times, but this is the time to get the application right. So rewatch this recording, look at the application, look at what we've outlined on the grants website. And if you need to provide more details or change things around, you have the ability to do so.
Yeah. And shout out to this post. I've seen this a couple times, actually. I think it's my first time putting it up here, but most inclusive team I've seen in Web3. One thing I do love about our team, I will brag, is that we have diverse backgrounds, diverse experiences. We've got a little bit of everybody in different parts of the world across community and DevRel and the ecosystem. And so, yeah, it's really, and it really, I think, is going to reflect on all of you all that are applying, because it's a lot of different voices and opinions that get to give insight. So yeah, huge shout out to that team. Shout out to Flamingo, by the way. I'm looking at all these folks that are out there. So yeah, shout out to Flamingo, and I see a couple other folks that are in our community. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this web page back up. And so, oh, that's our main one. Let's see. I want to go back to our grants page, and let's go back to that. So you can go here and apply right now if you haven't already. Here is the QR code. If you're watching the computer, want to go ahead and save it, lock it in, read through it on your phone. Or just go ahead, circle.com/grant. Super easy to memorize and access. I wish you all luck and tell you what, I mean, whether you think that you're going to get, whether you think you have a chance or not, apply. I think that even so, at the minimum, going through those questions, because it's a very thorough application, is going to make you think about things that maybe you didn't think about, and maybe inspire you to go back to the table and work. Success in business is not easy, folks. It's not easy. There's no silver bullet. There's a lot of examples of people that got all the funding, all the marketing in the world and didn't make it. I hate to tell you that. But it's the truth. And so the more that you're able to take it seriously from the very beginning, right now, you're looking for a grant, you're in your very, very early stages, take the time to learn, double down on what you're trying to build, articulate it, and put into action. So that way you can start off with the good foot. And I want to thank these individuals here for all the great work, all the insights that you've shared today. Any final words from anybody?
Let's go.
Bye. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Sam.
LFG.
Yes,
Thank you.
Edit submissions. What I saw someone just asked. That's what resubmitting will allow you to do.
Oh, yeah. See, man, they see it all. Yep. Possible to edit submissions. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Someone said, let me go back and do my work.
Take the long weekend. Take a long look inward, and then, take a look at the application and maybe give it another stab.
Yeah. And as soon as we end, I see this question came up a couple of times too. Yes, we will make sure to upload this recording to ArcHouse. It would be up today, so you can rewatch it, listen, get inspired to all the knowledge that was given out. And, like I said, make sure that you're able to apply. Yes, you can watch it later. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you again, Jenna, Anthony. It's great to see you all join us live. This won't be the last time. We'll do it again real soon. And to everyone watching, make sure to head over to ArcHouse. If you have any more questions, let us know. I will put up, once again, the QR code, circle.com/grant. Learn more. And of course, to watch this recording again, head over to ArcHouse, and it'll be right there for you. Thank you, everybody. You guys hang on tight. We'll see you all real soon.
Thank you.